Criterion announces its new slate of August releases. Tom Cruise is going to make you jump up and down on your couch for joy with his 3 brand new films in 4K. And Sonic races his way into your living room on stunning HDR. All this and more in today's Physical Media Report. Stay tuned. Hey guys, and welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel, and I am your host, the Mid-Level Critic Ken, and I'm here today for episode 5 of my latest weekly series, the Physical Media Report, where I run down all the latest and greatest in Blu-ray and 4K and physical media releases. And this is a jam-packed show today because we've got some news items, we've got tons of stuff to go over that are releasing tomorrow in stores. And I've got deals, just so many deals. I've got Q&A questions. I've got my weekly pickups. Just tons of stuff to go over today, guys. And let's get right into it because we're going to cover the first news story. And just like it was like a couple weeks ago, I think last month, I discussed the new July lineup for the Criterion Collection. Well, they have announced their new August slate a little bit last week. And there's nothing really fantastic to dig into here. There's a lot of really obscure older titles, but I'm going to cover them anyway because anytime Criterion releases, they're one of the biggest premier kind of boutique labels in the Blu-ray community. I'm going to go ahead and cover it. And the first one is Tony, which is a 1935 film, and I'm going to post images up above for you guys to see. And then we got The Lost Honor of Katharina Bloom, and that's a 1975 film, and that comes out on August the 4th. And Tony comes out on August the 25th, so sorry, I forgot to mention that. The Town Bloody Hall, which is a 1979 film, comes out on August the 18th. And The Comfort of Strangers, which is a Paul Schrader movie, directed film. It came out in 1990. And if you don't know who Paul Schrader is, he wrote Taxi Driver, and he also wrote and directed First Reform, which came out 2 years ago, and it's an A24 movie starring Ethan Hawke. So his movie, The Comfort of Strangers, is a 1990 film, probably the most notable in these releases. That comes out on August the 18th. And Agnes Varda Collection, that comes out on August the 11th, which I was doing a little research on that. That's a collection of 39 films by this female director that made films from 1955 all the way up until 2018 with her movie that she co-directed, Faces Places, which I believe was a documentary. But she's a very influential filmmaker from France, and she's directed so many movies, and all of her work is in this collection. And this is an expensive collection. When I was looking at it, is $250, but I mean, it looks great. And if you're into Agnes Varda as a filmmaker, I suspect that you are probably going to be really looking forward to this. All right, guys, so another thing that was announced is the Wonder Woman, The Complete Collection, 1975 through 1979. And that is, of course, the Wonder Woman TV show back in the 70s. And that releases on July the 28th. So be looking forward to that. And the new HBO show, His Dark Materials, which premiered either earlier this year or late last year. I can't remember which. But I know that it has the guy from Split, James McAvoy, is in that show. And that comes out on August the 4th. So the entire first season of that comes out then. And another thing that I found was pretty interesting, and I might actually pick this up because I really love the movie, and that's the Clueless Steelbook. It's a 25th anniversary steelbook. That comes out on July the 21st, and I don't think that this was a Best Buy exclusive steelbook. I think that you can buy this anywhere, so I'll definitely probably be looking forward to picking that one up. So let's go ahead and go into the deals next, guys, and I've got so many deals to talk about right now. When I started looking online just at the deals and stuff this week, there's so many fantastic deals this week. I don't know how the entire Blu-ray community is not going to go broke after this week, especially with everything that's coming out tomorrow, plus all these deals. It's insanity, guys. It's insanity. So let's run these deals down, guys. I'm gonna try to go as fast as I can. So you got the Knives Out 4K. That is $15. $15 for a 4K, and that movie only came out a couple months ago, so that's a great deal. You got the Color Out of Space 4K. That is $12.96, so $13 for another 4K. So right there, guys, under $30 two 4Ks. That's awesome deals. Charlie's Angels Blu-ray is $10, which that's an excellent deal for that film. It just came out a couple months as well. Lord of the Rings 3-film Blu-ray collection. So you get all 3 Lord of the Rings films on this Blu-ray set for $10. And that's something I might actually take advantage of, because I only have Fellowship of the Ring in Blu-ray. And I used to have all of them on the extended DVD versions, but I gave all those away when I gave away my DVDs a few years ago. So I might actually get that myself. Another 4K, guys, Anna, which is the Luc Besson directed film that came out, I think, in 2019. That's $14.99. So, and you also have Shazam, the Blu-ray, is $10 right now. So for a DC film on Blu-ray, $10, that's a steal. A Star is Born, the Blu-ray, is $7.99. And if you have not seen that film, it's fantastic. I definitely recommend you order it. Countdown, which is a film that came out last October. It's a horror film. That's $11.99 for the Blu-ray, so that's a good deal. Pan's Labyrinth 4K is $20. Abominable, which is an animated film that came out last year, is $11.99 on Blu-ray. Mission Impossible Fallout is $7.99. That's a great deal. Valerian in the City of a Thousand Planets 4K for $10. So for a 4K for $10, that movie's about 3 years old, and it's not the best. Another Luc Besson directed film, but $10, like, visually on 4K, like, that might actually be worth it. And the last one you got is Pacific Rim Uprising. So that is $6. So on Blu-ray. So those are some great deals, guys. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and go into it. Let's do the top 5 Blu-ray and 4K. And for this week, Blu-ray.com didn't really have the information laid out there for me like they have in previous weeks, separating the Blu-ray and 4K. But I was managed, and I might actually start doing it this way. I did manage to find, like, what's the top 5 in both the Blu-ray and the 4K categories. Just what's the top 5 overall. So I might actually start doing it this way anyway. So number 1 is Star Wars Episode 9. That is still number 1 on Blu-ray, the highest selling Blu-ray. Number 2, and this, what also interesting about this list, I also included pre-orders. So number 2 is Sonic the Hedgehog, and that comes out tomorrow. But what that tells you is that a lot of people are anticipating this film, and a lot of people are pre-ordering before the film actually comes out. So that is coming out tomorrow, and that is the number 2. Number 3 is Birds of Prey, which is kind of surprising because I would have thought that Birds of Prey would have been a number 1. But, you know, who knows? I guess a lot of people weren't looking forward to that on physical media just as much as they weren't when it came out in theaters. But and number 4 is the Top Gun 4K, which comes out tomorrow. And number 5 is the Knives Out 4K. And I can only imagine that this is because of the sale that's going on for $15. And Knives Out is a very popular movie. That movie made a ton of money at the box office. So it's no surprise that that is number 5 on the list with the sale going on. So, all right, guys. So next up, we are going to talk about the weekly releases, and then I'm going to go into my haul for the week, and then we're going to do the Q&A questions. So if that sounds good, go ahead and join me because I have got a ton of stuff to run down right now. Like, this week is insane. Hold on, guys. Just take a breath. Like, why don't y'all spread this stuff out? Because if you look ahead to June and July, there's not a lot coming out, and they're really just throwing everything on the table this week. And there's a few things coming out next week, and there was a few things that came out last week, but nothing is like this week. This is like insanity. So let's go ahead and start running this down. So the first things I'm going to cover, guys, is we got all 3 of those Tom Cruise films coming out on 4K. We have the Top Gun 4K. We have the World of the Worlds 4K. We have Days of Thunder 4K. All of those right now have been marked down to $19.99. So I would get on bestbuy.com to get those and order those, pre-order those in, because that's where I'm seeing the deal. I'm sure that Amazon has them as well, but that's where I got my deal for those Tom Cruise 4Ks. And Top Gun is the only one of those 3 that has a steelbook. From what I was seeing, a Best Buy exclusive steelbook, and that steelbook is $27.99 for that. And also, interesting enough, that's the only one of those that's getting like a traditional Blu-ray cover release, and that's $10. So Top Gun's getting the 4K for $20, the Blu-ray for $10, and you got a 4K steelbook for $27.99. So Top Gun's coming out in 3 editions this week. So the next one, World of Worlds, is, so as far as I could tell, This one is only getting a 4K, so that's all that one is getting. So, and Days of Thunder is getting a 4K for $20. And it is also getting a Blu-ray as a part of the Paramount Presents line that I've been discussing on this channel recently, and I've done some reviews for those. But Days of Thunder, yeah, is getting that Paramount Presents, and it's the only one of the Tom Cruise ones that is. So I find that a little interesting. And that Blu-ray is $22.99. So the Blu-ray in this case is actually more money than the 4K, which is kind of interesting. So, I mean, if you're going to save money if you get the 4K, but if you want a part of that collector's series, as I do, because I'm looking to get that instead of the 4K, you're going to pay $3 extra just to get that collector's series edition. So the next one I'm going to go over, guys, is it's also a part of that new Paramount Presents line, and it is Flashdance, starring Jennifer Beals. So that is $23, $22.99, and that's coming out on the Blu-ray. So I have also pre-ordered that, and I'm looking forward to showing that off on the channel as well as I continue to collect for that Paramount Presents line. I want to try to collect all of those in that set. So next one, guys, is another big release. You have the Blues Brothers coming out on 4K, and this is also getting a Best Buy exclusive Steelbook. Now, the Steelbook, from what I was looking at, is the exact same price as the regular 4K. So you get the Blues Brothers 4K is $20. You get the Steelbook from the Best Buy is $20 as well. So, you know, it really just comes down to what's your preference. Do you like the Steelbooks or do you like the regular 4K slipcovers? So, moving on, guys, like if that's not enough, like all of that was just so much to cover. We're moving on now, guys, because we got Sonic the Hedgehog is also coming out tomorrow on Blu-ray and Blu-ray 4K. It also has a Best Buy exclusive Steelbook. So the 4K is $27.99, the Blu-ray is $22.99, and the Steelbook from Best Buy is $29.99 for that Sonic set. So not bad prices for all those. It's always nice to see a Steelbook that is $30. You know, usually they're 33 or 35, but that one is $30. Maybe it's on sale. I'm not sure. But it's cool to see it for that. And at this point, I don't know if I'm going to get the Sonic 4K. If I'm out at Walmart tomorrow and I see it, I might grab it. I just might, but I'm already planning on getting all those Tom Cruise ones and the new Paramount Presents. So I don't know if it's going to be in my budget this week to get Sonic 4K. So, and another really notable release that's coming out that I don't know if it's going to meet my budget to get it is the Onward 4K, Pixar's new film, which is already on Disney Plus. If you want to watch that, and I imagine it's on there in 4K, but I haven't checked to make sure that it is. But yeah, that the 4K for that is $30. The Blu-ray is $24.99, and that one has a Target edition. The Digibook is $34.99, and the Best Buy Steelbook is $34.99 as well. So I would like to get that one. I really did kind of like Onward, certainly more than I like Sonic, but I don't know if I'm willing to shell out $30 for a film that's on Disney Plus right now. I mean, it's, you know, Disney Plus has really killed their physical media collecting, in my opinion, because it's like I even collect physical media, and I'm reluctant to buy it because I know I already have it, and it's, you know, I'll buy it down the road for a deal or something. But guys, so those are two huge releases, right? So we already had all the Tom Cruise stuff. We had the Paramount Presents stuff. We had Sonic and Onward. And we are still going with big theatrically released films as we move on to Emma on Blu-ray, which is $22.99. And that is, of course, starring Anya Taylor-Joy. It's a classic tale. I believe that was a novel. But yeah, I didn't get a chance to catch this one. And I know it came out on like early VOD home theater. But I didn't buy it. So I may give this one a rent this week and review it because I know my wife really wants to watch it, and I want to see it as well. I love Anya Taylor-Joy. She's in my favorite horror film of the 21st century with The Witch, so I got to check it out. So The Way Back is also coming out, and the movie starring Ben Affleck is $19.99 on Blu-ray, and strangely enough, that was the last film I saw in a theater. And I think I even posted something when I saw it. I'm like, this is probably going to be my last theatrical watch for a while, because it's when everything was breaking out, things were going crazy that day, and everybody was buying up toilet paper and all that crazy stuff. and you could just feel it in the air. And the next week, all the theaters were shut down. So I was right in my prediction there. But yeah, that's a really good movie. I recommend buying it if you haven't seen it, or maybe renting it. But I think it's good enough to buy. I think Ben Affleck is fantastic in the film, and it's just a really strong, emotionally. I don't want to say uplifting, but it's just an emotional film, and it's really well done. Directed by Gavin O'Connor, who of course did one of my favorite films of the past 10 years with Warrior. That film is fantastic. But so we're still going, guys, because we got The Boy 2. And it's coming out on Blu-ray for $14.99 is what it's saying right now. And I think there's a deal running for that one. So I don't know if it's going to be $14.99 in stores. But right now, if you get on Amazon, it is $14.99. So if you're curious about The Boy, definitely get it on Amazon or online where it is lower in price, because it might not be that low in stores. So the next one, guys, is the Will Ferrell, Julia Louis-Dreyfus film Downhill. And that is coming out on Blu-ray for $19.99. And I believe that one released in theaters as well. I didn't get a chance to see that, but I was actually excited to see that movie. A fun comedy starring Julia Louis-Dreyfus, which is one of my favorite comedic actresses of all time. And Will Ferrell, who's one of the best comedic actors of all time, in a movie together. And the premise seems so interesting. About the avalanche and the father not protecting his kids and running away. And it just got really bad reviews, and I don't know what it was about that movie, but it got terrible reviews, so it kind of turned me off on watching it. I'll definitely probably rent it now to check it out anyway, now that it's out on VOD. But yeah, that comes out tomorrow as well. So next up, guys, we got another DC animated film with Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. And I haven't gotten into the DC animated films. A lot of people keep telling me, they swear by them. They keep telling me to watch them, to get into them. I know my buddy over at Ultra HD Geek, which I do my weekly podcast with, he's been trying to get me to watch them forever now. And I just don't know what it is about them, but I'm just not, I don't know how to explain it. I'm just not that into animated stuff outside of like Disney, Pixar. If it's animated for kids and families, I'm into it. Animation for adults, I've never been a big fan of. And I don't know what it is. I don't know how to explain it. I just can't engage with that kind of material. But that is getting a 4K release for $24.99. That is also getting a Blu-ray for $17.99. And that is getting a Best Buy, not a Steelbook, but it's getting a Best Buy exclusive that has the figure in it. It has like a little toy figure in it. And I know Best Buy does this sometimes in Target too. But I'll post that picture up above. And it's also getting a Target special edition as well, which I'll post above also. So, and I think the Target is actually the Steelbook of that. So, Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. So let's move on, guys, and we're not done. We're going to keep going because we got Fear the Walking Dead Season 5 is coming out on Blu-ray. And we also have The Good Place. The entire complete series is being released by Shout Factory, and that comes out tomorrow as well. And the other ones we had a Criterion release with the Lucille Ball starring movie Dance Girl Dance. And we also have a Scream Factory release of The Evil of Frankenstein. So if you're into collecting Scream Factories, that is another one coming out for that as well. And we have some kind of lower tier VOD release coming out to Blu-ray tomorrow. The Postcard Killings with stars Jeffrey D. Morgan. And we have Buffaloed, which is coming out on Blu-ray, and that stars Zoe Deutsch. So that does it, guys. Let me see here before I move on to the next topic, if there's anything else you should be looking out for. So Warner Archive, I think I mentioned this a couple weeks ago on one of the shows. Selena, starring J-Lo, is coming out tomorrow from the Warner Archive. We also have an Arrow movie coming out tomorrow, and it's called The Woman, which is a horror movie from what it looks like. Sunday in New York. So that's the other Warner Archive that's coming out. So, and there's a few other things. Kino Lorber's releasing some things. There's a Pink Panther box set coming out tomorrow. So there's Rad's coming out tomorrow. The Rad 4K is coming out tomorrow. I don't know if anybody's seen Rad, but it's getting a 4K release tomorrow, guys. So, but yeah, that's all I'm going to cover. All right, guys. So we're going to go ahead and get into these pickups that I got from the last week. And I've got some surprises in here, guys, because right before I went on To film this, I actually got a delivery at my door for a lot of things that I pre-ordered for tomorrow. So a lot of the things that I just covered in the rundown, I'm going to be able to show off to you here in a second. So we're going to go ahead and do my first 4K release, and that is Birds of Prey. So I picked this up at Walmart last week, and I didn't go for the Steelbook or the Target Edition. I kind of wanted the Target Edition, but I went ahead and went with the 4K. I really do like this cover, and Warner Brothers just does such an excellent job on their 4Ks. I always love their spines. So this one was kind of a no-brainer for me. So I really like the cover, and the movie's really good. I don't get all the hate for it, but I think it's a good movie. So, but that's just my opinion. So, another thing that I saw, and I've showed off some of my Mill Creek collection on this channel before. So I like collecting these kind of retro slipcovers, and I found this in a Walmart bin for $7.50, and it's Alicia Silverstone and Benicio del Toro in a movie together, and it's called Excess Baggage. It's from the 90s. I vaguely remember this movie coming out in the 90s when I was a kid, but I've never seen it. So, I mean, anything starring Alicia Silverstone, like especially in the 90s, like I'm here for it. So, I just watched her in The Lodge. So, I mean, if I could watch The Lodge, I can watch Excess Baggage. So that's that's a cool edition right there. Let me go ahead and take it out of the slipcover because it has a different one, a different cover on that. So a cool release, and yeah, I'm excited about that one. Next thing, guys, and I haven't got a Criterion in a while, but when I saw the cover to this, and it starring Steve McQueen, like it looked really interesting, and I wanted to check it out. So I grabbed the Great Escape on Criterion. And that's an amazing release. I love that. Awesome. But yeah, this is an almost 3-hour movie, but I am looking forward to kind of getting into it and checking it out, and probably doing a review of it on this channel at some point. But yeah, excited to check this one out and get to add to my Criterion collection. So let's move into it, because those are the last ones that I picked up last week, and the ones I'm going to get to now are the ones that I just got at my doorstep right before I went to film this episode. So I got my Days of Thunder's Paramount Presents. Let me go ahead and take this out. You got that poster right there. And I won't show off too much because I'm probably going to do an official unboxing and review on that one like I have my other Paramount Presents ones. So here's the Flashdance one. And this one's actually still sealed in the plastic, so I'm not going to open this one and show you the poster until I do my actual video. And this next one, guys, like I was super excited to see these. I got the War of the Worlds 4K. And that is awesome. I cannot wait till we watch this on 4K. Got the Blues Brothers 4K. And I have not seen the Blues Brothers. I've seen the Blues Brothers 2000, which I've heard is horrible compared to the original, but I am excited to see the Blues Brothers for the first time. And we got the Top Gun 4K, another film that I have not seen. So I'm excited to watch Top Gun for the first time. I know it's a classic, and it's one of my biggest gaps. But yeah, I look forward to watching that one in 4K. So that is my pickups from last week, guys. So let's go ahead and get into these Q&A questions from you all. And the first one comes from Unboxing Movies, and he asked, did you get the Birds of Prey Steelbook? Which I kind of just answered and covered. No, I did not. I did really like the cover on that one. But I'm just not as into collecting steelbooks as I used to be. For one, they're way overpriced sometimes. I think that one was like $35, and I'm not going to spend that much money for something that I'm not that interested in. I used to like getting them just for the collector's aspect of it, just because it was a collector's item, and it would be something down the road that a lot of people wouldn't have that I would. So that would be cool. But I just don't love steelbooks like I used to. I used to be more inclined to buy them, and I'm just not now. So, hope that answers your question. So let's move on to Shane.movies. And he asked me, will you upgrade to the Parasite 4K? And the answer to that is, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I mean, I have Parasite on Blu-ray, And to be honest, it looks great on Blu-ray. So I don't know how much better it's going to look on 4K, but I definitely will not buy it when it comes out. Maybe down the road if it goes on sale at some point and I'm inclined to upgrade it to 4K, I will do so. But it's not a movie that I think really merits a 4K upgrade, especially when I already have the Blu-ray and I just bought it a couple months ago. So I will probably not be getting that. And plus, it comes out on the same day as the Jaws 4K, so Jaws will be my top priority that day to get for sure. So let's move on to Iceman's movies, and he actually has two questions for me this week. And his first one is: have you heard of Half Price Books? If yes, do you buy movies there? And I love this question because I know I've showed it off on my page before, but I actually do have a Half Price Books. And if you want me to tell you like the top 3 things I miss about everything being shut down and being quarantined and all that crap, number 2 or 3 would probably be going to Half Price Books, because I used to go there 1 or 2 times a week sometimes, to browse the thrift section, and you would get some really awesome deals. And if you want to know how I amassed such a Blu-ray collection in 3 years' time, a lot of that has to do with Half Price Books, especially this DVD collection of horror movies that I have back here, because I actually sold all of my movies on DVD a few years ago. So all of these movies that I have on DVD back here, I recently bought, and most of them are horror movies that I found at Half Price Books for $1 a piece. And you can also find Blu-rays for $3-4 in there sometimes, and it's just great deals. And yes, I love shopping at Half Price Books. It is one of the best thrift stores out there, and they always have great deals, and they do discount days for 50% off and all that stuff. So yeah, I hope that answers your question, Iceman. And the next question that Iceman asks is: what are your thoughts on all these movie delays, including no slip covers on some releases? So yeah, I mean, I assume that you're talking about all the delays as far as like getting stuff shipped to you. So I was a victim of that a couple of weeks ago with the Mask of Zorro 4K. On Tuesday morning, I woke up and they sent me a notification that said my pre-order was not available for pickup, because I got it for in-store pickup. That they're out of stock, they don't have any. And they didn't even give me the option at that point to switch it to shipping. And I don't know if maybe I would have got it on that day if I would have had it shipped to me, like I did today with the Top Gun and all that stuff. But yeah, to be honest, yeah, I actually think it's kind of shitty. I think it's kind of shitty that they let you pre-order it, and then they take you all the way to Tuesday and then let you know that it's not coming in. Like, at least let me know a couple days in advance or something like that. And I guess it doesn't really matter, because I mean, it's just a movie ultimately at the end of the day. But I just think that you're going to let me pre-order it, and I only pre-ordered it like maybe 5 days before. So you would think that they would know that they weren't going to have it. But as far as the slipcovers, yeah, I mean, that's another thing that I'm not really sure, like, if there's something behind that, something involved with like the production of the actual Blu-rays and the printing out of the slipcovers, if there's like something preventing them from doing that's like COVID or virus related on some of those releases. So yeah, I'm not sure about that, but yeah, that actually prevented me from buying Bloodshot a couple of weeks ago, because I was going to buy the 4K of Bloodshot. And when I saw it in Walmart with no slipcover, I'm like, there's no way I'm buying a new movie with no slipcover. It's just not happening. So I didn't buy that movie. I'm glad I didn't, because I didn't love the movie. I thought it was okay, but I didn't love it. But yeah, I hope that answers your question, Iceman's. So Netflix Movies asks, which major studio is your favorite when it comes to physical media releases? So if I'm going like major studio, probably Warner Brothers, because I think that they just have the nicest slipcovers in my opinion. Like the Doctor Sleep and the Shining slipcovers and the Blade Runner slipcovers. All of the DC ones are usually really great. Like I like the way that they're formatted. And if I'm using an example, but the way that the Universal does theirs with this Blues Brother, I hate it when it's like super large at the top. And the slipcover is just always like really, I don't know, it's really bulky, and you can take it out and it always leans like one way. And it's just not as fitting as the other ones. I'm not really sure how to say it, but it's just really big and bulky. And yeah, I don't like the way Universal does theirs at all. Paramount seems to be okay. And yeah, Warner Brothers is probably the best in my opinion, and they usually do some great special features as well. So, but if I'm answering like overall studio, and I don't see them as a major studio yet, but they're getting there, it's probably A24. Like I've gotten to the point with A24 that I will buy any movie as soon as it comes out on Blu-ray. I don't care what it is, and I don't care if I've seen it, just because I want to add to my A24 collection. In particular, I want all my A24s to have slipcovers. So every time I'm out in the wild, or at Half Price Books or somewhere like that, and I see an A24 film, especially with a slipcover, I buy it. So I was actually fortunate enough a few weeks before the outbreak happened that I got Under the Skin at Half Price Books for $6, and I've been reading a lot of people online saying that they can't find the slipcover for that. So that was a really good find that day for sure. But yeah, I love A24. I love almost all the slipcovers they do. I just love the presentation, and I usually love all the covers that they do. So probably A24 is my overall. But if I'm going like major studio, it's Warner Brothers. So hope that answers your question, Netflix. And with that, I've come to the conclusion of this show, guys. And like I said, this was a jam-packed week. So let me know in the comments below, because I know you're probably getting something if you're viewing this. But just let me know down below what you plan on picking up this week. And also just let me know, give me some feedback. Let me know how you like this week's episode. What physical media related segments you would maybe like me to add. Or do you think that there's enough? And you know, I really enjoyed doing this show, guys. And everybody, this show's been having really good numbers. People have been watching, tuning in, engaging. So I appreciate that. I appreciate all the support. And like I said, if you are not a subscriber of this channel, go ahead and subscribe right now. Like this video, comment down below, and we'll see you next time.